Safety Administration. See a train? It'll stop. After it drags you a mile, they can't stop. You need to. By the way, tension reportedly remains between Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. This, according to Greg Bedard, a legitimate reporter, not just some blogger out there. His story quotes two reasons for the tension. Now, the first reason is this. I'll put it on the screen. Brady's TB12 Sports Therapy Center, co-founded by Alex Guerrero, located just outside the stadium. Players have reportedly been going there for treatment in increasing numbers. Reports they are being told to ignore instructions from the team's training staff. I don't buy this. I do buy Greg Bedard, but I don't buy this is tearing the relationship apart. I just don't think a trainer is going to unravel this thing. It may be something. I think it's past. I don't think it's the big deal. There is a second quote in the article. There have been strong indications that Brady and other Patriot players are unhappy with Belichick benching Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl. Similarly, I think players were pissed, but I think they're over that. There is no staying power to that. Now, Jason Whitlock, speak for yourself this week, disagrees. He thinks that's the reason. He believes that's the reason for the Belichick-Brady tension, which remains today.
I don't blame Brady and the other players for not letting it go, because if they had done something as stupid as what Belichick had done, he wouldn't let it go. But his ego blew up in a way that, to me, undermines the trust, and I don't blame Brady or anybody else on that team that's now looking at him with a side eye.
Okay, so I don't think it's Alex Guerrero. I think it did create some tension. It's done. I don't think a trainer has any staying power. I disagree with Jason. I think this was something, but I think it's past. But what is the one thing that'll keep reminding Belichick and irritating and annoying? What'll keep doing that to Belichick? And I think this is the problem. Jimmy Garoppolo. Belichick loved him. Kraft said, get rid of him. And now he watches him play for the Niners, and he's going to watch him for the rest of his coaching career. Alex Guerrero's a small fight with you and your wife. Benching Malcolm Butler is an irritant with you and your wife. But you and her get over it in 4 or 5 days. But what if you keep getting reminded over and over and over? To me, this is the Garoppolo thing. It put Belichick in a lousy mood, and he's never come out of it. He loved him. He was told, my turn, Robert Kraft said, trade him. Belichick now can't repeat his dynasty, proving it's me, not Brady, because Belichick thought I can win multiple Super Bowls with Garoppolo. And now Garoppolo flourishes with the 49ers, making New England and Belichick look like they got hosed. That, to me, has staying power. Every time Garoppolo's great, Bill Belichick bites his tongue. Not happy. I think Kraft and Belichick, there's resentment. Everybody's talking about Brady and Belichick. Those are little fights that married couples have. Malcolm Butler benching, ticks you off. You get over it in 2 weeks. And I also think these two, their brands are now different. I mean, if you really look at the TB12 method and the Bill Belichick method, they're completely opposites. I mean, Brady is month off after the season. Belichick, no days off ever. Brady's into pliability and flexibility. Belichick's into rigidity and stubbornness. TB12 method, play forever. Belichick's method, do your job. What can you do for me now? Brady has a plant-based diet. Belichick has no time for eating, too much film to watch. I think they're different guys now. And I think the Garoppolo thing has staying power, and Belichick will never, ever, ever forget it. Christine with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
Can we also clarify quickly that LeBron broke his nose? No. Joel Embiid broke his face. There's a big difference.
Nose is right in the middle of your face.
It is, but you can break your nose and be okay. Your face, like, you can't hit that again. You got to let that heal for a little bit before you put a face mask on and get back in the game.
If I broke my nose, I'd be out for months.
Yes, but you're not a professional basketball player.
Professional broadcaster and a journalist.
That's why you're sitting there and you're not playing a physical sport.
This is very physical.
Regardless, so Joel Embiid's in the hospital, and he also has a concussion, by the way, so he should stay out for a little bit. But his Twitter game is not broken. He is still sending out great tweets, and this is the one he just said. I guess I gotta just trust the process that I've been preaching. Unfortunate freak accident, but I'll be more than fine. Injuries, jokes coming in 3, 2, 1. Hashtag the process. Hashtag Two-Face. So he's calling himself Two-Face. And he'll be back.
He's out a month.
Hopefully, well, 2 to 4 weeks.
Sounds like 4 to me.
Why are you up? It sounds like you're upset at Joel Embiid for his face being broken. He didn't do that to himself.
No, I like him, and I think he's a very good player. But what I am not mad at, what I am sort of rolling my eyes at is this trust the process. I like LeBron's process. I join a team, we make to the finals. That's my process.
And then lose.
Well, win some, lose some.
Over. You know what I think? I think you jinxed him. You wore his jersey, and then this happens.
I was thinking about wearing a Sixers jersey all next week.
You're what?
I'm going to wear Sixers jerseys all next week. I was thinking about
No, please don't. I'll do it. You can stay over there. Wear your sweaters. That was better for them. Kevin Durant fouled out last night and got ejected also, but answered the question on whether he would tone it down during the playoffs. Here's what he said.
I got fouled, and I told him how I felt about it, and he kicked me out. Pretty simple.
Might be an obvious question here, but you get to the playoffs, is this something that you can avoid? Get into a moment like this?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you think? Well,
no, it's an obvious
Come
question.
on, man. You know me a little better than that. We had some nice conversations before. You don't think I'm really like that because I got thrown out of the game? All right, thank you. Come on, man. You know me. You know me, man. Come on, man. Don't act like that. It's just a check. I got thrown out the basketball game, man. I wish I didn't. I wanted to play. I'm sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, but I wish I could finish the game. But come on, man.
I do
like
like
that.
him. I do like him. He makes me laugh.
You know, he's very honest. He, has his moments where he's tough and
By the
he's
way,
just himself.
I covered Rasheed Wallace, who led this
Same.
league, and I got to tell you something. Rasheed was the funniest
Yes.
player in league history.
And he's so nice.
Look, Rasheed Wallace was outrageously funny. He was a Pied Piper. Players love Rasheed. Now, he would yell and scream, but sometimes, there are athletes who want to throw a bat and yell and scream. They're just emotional players. They're not bad guys. I mean, there have been guys in this league. I mean, I'm not going to mention it. There was a guy in this league, NBA, about 20 years ago, had mob ties, like threatened guys with like ugly stuff. Like, there have been guys that you don't want to screw with. Kevin Durant and Rasheed are teddy bears. They're teddy bears.
You know who else? Kevin Garnett was also very, very tough and kind of mean on the court, but very funny.
Yeah, he's funny on
and
TV.
loose.
By the way,
On
Charles
TV
Barkley
and
was
even off the court.
he was a little bit. Charles Barkley was a tough guy. On the court, Charles, you didn't want to mess with Charles. Charles is a teddy bear off the court.
LeBron and the Cavs play the Pelicans tonight, and LeBron James has a chance to surpass now the record set by Michael Jordan for double-figure games. It's currently at 868 games, so he can beat it tonight. And here's LeBron on that.
I don't know. It's not like I set out to say I want to be the number one in, scoring 10 points, double digits for consecutive games or whatever and whatnot. But anytime like a statistical category comes up and I'm able to accomplish something like that, I think it's pretty incredible.
That's
incredible.
That's what I would have said. That's incredible.
Absolutely incredible to be able to, whatever this 868 games.
Incredible. One of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
You're going to watch him be incredible tonight?
I am.
Yeah?
I hang out with my son and watch the Cavs. You bet.
You're going to sit down every game. Do you watch all LeBron's games these days?
No. I don't watch. You get to that January and stuff. But I have a little pattern at home, and I come home about 4:35. You get the second half of East Coast games. So 5:30.
You get home at 5. What are you doing until 5:30?
Work out. Go home, take a nap, little something to eat, get up, lift some weights, 300-400-pound bench, whatevs, have a cocktail, come home, little NBA second half every night.
Download LeBron's playlist while you're at the gym and then.
I just think he's spectacular.
I'm surprised you don't have alarms set on your phone for when LeBron's playing.
Who says I don't?
Maybe you do.
Yeah.
Maybe you're watching LeBron on your phone even at the gym. Who knows?
Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
All sorts of stuff. Peter Schrager came out with a mock draft. I have my own mock draft. As you know, you are mocking my mock draft. I did think Peter Schrager's mock draft today was interesting because he had all sorts of quarterbacks. He had Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, first three players picked. This is my mock draft, and Schrager now is following my lead. Of course he is, because I believe quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, and 3. I think Arizona trades up. So Schrager's draft, he's now moving all the quarterbacks up. He has Baker Mayfield going 6. Buffalo moves up, so he has 4 quarterbacks in the top 6 picks, and I believe this is what's going to happen. So Schrager and I are conjoined here that we believe, and I believe strongly, that Arizona and Buffalo are desperate. I mean, not just looking for a quarterback, desperate for a quarterback. And I think quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 1, 2, 3, and 5. 1, 2, 3, and 6. So Schrager's new mock draft looks a lot like our mock draft. Coming up next, Andre the Giant. There's a documentary out. It's fascinating. Let me give you a little sneak peek here. That wouldn't be it. Although LeBron is a giant in the NBA, that would not be it.
Can you believe that? Perhaps even, let's compare it to the size of my head. Andre, that...
He's stronger than all of us. He's bigger than all of us. He kept everybody in line. He was the guy.
You knew that you were seeing something unique in the world.
Andre was an attraction. There was no level of comfort. It had to be an uncomfortable life.
Mother Nature has done something really magnificent here.
He did sports entertainment before there was sports entertainment.
That coming up next. The man who created it. Really interesting stuff. Jason Hare around the corner. Spring has sprung means it's time for a little spring cleaning. Why don't you start with the underwear drawer? This year, Tommy John, embrace the comfort. Been wearing it myself for close to 4 years. They're coming out with a women's line, by the way. My wife's been asking about that for years because she wears it to bed. Yes, revolutionary. Eliminates bunching and squishing and riding up altogether. It doesn't stretch. It never shrinks. I'm wearing it now. They've got socks that stay up all day. Lightweight undershirts. The tees. You got to try this stuff yourself. Never been a big T-shirt guy. In fact, I never wore them in my entire life. Ever until 3.5 years ago when I was introduced to Tommy John. TommyJohn.com now, code HERD, H-E-R-D, for 20% off your first order. Only at TommyJohn.com, code HERD, TommyJohn.com. Don't shrink, don't bunch, socks that stay up all day. It's the Herd.
DiGiorno Pizza Express.